Hello, everyone. My name is Aiden, and this is AuthorQuest. Thank you so much for joining me as I join with my brother here, and we're going to talk about his channel, the things that he's been doing.
We've started quite the family of YouTube channels recently. The Quest YouTube channels.
The Questverse.
Ooh, is that the thing?
I think that's the thing. It's the Questverse.
All right.
Writing that down.
Notes. Any good writer takes notes, right? That's why I'm not a good writer.
I have been writing in a journal recently, in this last week, and I kid you not, it's like I've been keeping one journal for a week and it's already half full. It's crazy.
I haven't journaled in a while, but when I do, like every year my birthday, I always want to like spend that time alone. I generally end up journaling or something, and every time I do, I'm just like, I should do this more often, and then of course I never do.
It's been helping specifically my world building. I don't know if it would necessarily help my prose necessarily. I guess I could do prose. Yeah, anyway, so journaling. Doing journaling more.
There you go.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions for you. You've been doing some interesting things with Notion, and yes. I have to admit I've been ignoring it because of the immensity that
because if your brother says to do something, then the most obvious choice is to ignore it.
No, I just know that if I dip my toe in, I'm gonna fall down the rabbit hole a little bit. You have finally convinced me to actually try Notion, to actually jump into it and actually put my stories into it and actually use it. So tell me a little bit about Notion, why you use it, and a little bit about Storybook Novelist.
Yeah. So the reason I like Notion for writing, now I'll say a caveat first. And so in my template, Storybook Master Novelist, I have built in where you can actually write your stories and your books, like a manuscript feature in there. But I will also be the first to admit, it's not the best for actual writing. So like, it's not a word processor per se. I think they're building in some, they're getting there with it, but like it wasn't originally built for that kind of thing.
Okay.
All that being said, everything else you want to use it for writing, I think it's far superior than almost everything else.
Okay.
So like the reason I like it is because it's infinitely customizable. So originally I started using it because using it for like task management, managing your life, like, you can do calendars, you can do all sorts of things. It's a massive thing.
And that's what I remember you initially doing it. You're like, oh yeah, I've got Notion. It helps me keep all my stuff together and everything. Because you've always been into making your life more efficient. And then all of a sudden you're like, I have a thing for storybook or thing for writing. It's called Storybook. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I'll get to the evolution of Storybooks. I actually have 3 templates that are all kind of in that. But so basically, I realized, as I started getting into Notion, you realize there's this whole community of people making Notion templates for like anything, like tracking books you read, to tracking your garden, to tracking like your tasks, to, literally everything. And so I thought maybe I could build a custom tool. And I've used all the other writing programs. I use Scrivener, which Scrivener would be my go-to. Otherwise, I love Scrivener a lot. Ulysses, there's Bear, Dabble. Like, there's all sorts of writing programs out there. But none of them, because of the size of the story that I'm wanting to tell, felt like they could really, like, help me wrangle it all into one thing. And so, and even like having a notebook, like I change my mind a lot, as you know, listening to me or having watched me write for so long. So I change my mind all the time.
I've never seen you change your mind. Never. Yeah. You've never done that.
Yeah. So like just like a normal notebooks, like I just ended up with a bunch of useless notebooks because like the whole notebook is like, none of this applies anymore,
Right.
So Notion seemed to provide a solution where I could build custom tools for myself. And then I thought, hey, maybe other people would like it too. So I started with just I just made Storybook was what I called it, and all the template is it's like one little database. You can put your book in it, like your title, and then it just lets you outline like a simple 3-act story structure. That's all it does. It literally does nothing else. Then, as I learned more about Notion, then I built the next version, which I call Storybook Pro. And it has the same functionality from Storybook where you can outline multiple books in 3-act story structure. But then I added in some limited world building stuff. So like tracking some characters and, you know, items and magic stuff, but like nothing, just very basic. And then I added the ability to track chapters, so you could attach chapters to your book. So you could essentially do like your story structure for the whole outline for the whole book, and then you could start outlining the chapters. So that's all that is. Then I decided I could get even crazier. And I built what I call Storybook Master Novelist, which is my biggest template. And essentially, it can track multiple series, multiple books. You can track all of your chapters within those books. You can link everything together, the world building, so it's kind of designed as a workflow. So you start in the brainstorm section, then you go to the outline section, then you go to, Right. As you're doing the brainstorming and outlining, it starts collecting all of the world building elements in the world building section for you to go back to later. So a lot of times when I create stuff, I always just I'm writing or I'm coming up with an idea, and then I'm like, I need a character, and then I just blurt out a character name, and now that character exists. So with this, what you can do is you can put them in on that chapter, and then it'll show up later, so you can go to the world building section and flesh that character out when you're ready.
Right.
But it collects everything for you as you brainstorm and outline, so that all of the information you need is with you when you need it.
So what you're saying is, when I'm writing in my journal here, and I'm going through and I'm writing idea after idea after idea, and then I have an idea for another thing, and I just write it in the margins of the current page that I'm on, and then I don't have it linked back here.
Lame.
You're saying you have a way to actually organize it?
Yes. The idea was that, because being creative is messy, very, very messy, and I believe that writing a story is the messiest form of creation. So because there's infinite possibilities with a story. It literally can go anywhere you want it to. So whereas music, it's if you're writing a punk rock song, eventually it's you're either punk rock or you start switching genres,
Right.
But to me, writing a story, and especially writing a series, is the messiest form of creativity. And so it was kind of a way for me to if I just start dumping all of my crap into this thing, it will start organizing it for me, and then I can get to it when I'm ready. That was essentially where I'm at.
Okay, yeah, I got you. And I've looked at those kinds of things before. Scrivener is a great example. I bet you could come up with something similar to this, but from what I understand, I'm not even going to pretend that I understand anything about this.
But you can also the great thing about Notion, Scrivener, for example. I really love Scrivener, but Scrivener is kind of designed one way. So if you don't work the way that Scrivener works, then it doesn't really work for you. Notion, what's great about Notion and this template is that you can just keep customizing it. So if you get my template and it works 80% for you, you can change you can move it all around and change it so it works for you 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
So
you would get it, and then you would be like, "What did you do to my template?" And I'd be like,
Yeah.
I made it better.
But that's what's great about it. Like everyone can, you can get it as what it is, and then you can change it. Whereas like if you buy Scrivener or Ulysses or whatever, it just kind of is what it is. You can't really change it much.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. So you sent me a link to download it, and I'm gonna be doing that here soon. And I will definitely give you my thoughts, and we could probably talk about it here.
Yeah. Well, and if you want, you can put the link to it in the description below, and there's a discount code WQ15. We'll get you 15% off if anyone wants it.
Oh, there you go.
And I have so many videos on my channel going through it. So like if you want to look at that stuff before you look at it or whatever. Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll let you know how it goes. And maybe I'll be able to put everything from my notebook into it and actually make sense of my life.
Which is the hardest form of anything.
Exactly. Cool. Well, everything with Notion is great, and I think you've been having a lot of success with it, and a lot of success in your own story, because this is Author Quest and your writing quest, and this is all about, at the end of the day, we're trying to get our projects out there and do the author thing.